We're so grateful. Restrooms are over here. If you have any issues, anything happens in there, let one of our staff know. They'll have one of these Ask Me badges on, and they'll take care of that as quickly as they possibly can. Gosh, there's a baby area back here. If you've got little ones with you, I saw a couple of little ones come in this morning. We'll try to have coffee ready to go for you. Try to keep you awake. We're trying to get a little air moving in here. So, anyways, it's like Easter Sunday morning for us. This is great. I love this. Let's pray. Jesus, thank you so much for your comfort, your direction over us, over our nation. Resurrection morning changes everything. And Lord, if you can conquer death and hell, you can conquer the issues that face our nation, and face our state, and face our community. And I pray today that we would take a step forward in pushing candidates who will factor into that and will be used by you and used of you and will reflect your character. We love you. I pray a blessing on all of these wonderful people. Give back to them their time and their energy, their rest tonight, knowing that they have taken part in this incredible thing we call the American experience. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Could I get Commissioner Al French to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Would you all please stand and join me as we pledge our allegiance to the flag of this great country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and God bless America.
Aaron Rollins, please step out the podium. Aaron Rollins. Okay, we're going to move this right along today. Introduction to temporary chair. That's me. Dave Ford, temporary chair, Spokane County Republican Party. Temporary secretary is Michelle Dress. Excuse me, Dries. And our parliamentarian is Mike Hyde. Excuse me. How are we doing on the credential report?
It's coming.
It's coming? It's all stressful. I'm just kidding. I'm going to fall on the sword for that because this is my first convention and this kind of stuff rolls uphill, so it's my fault. We've got about 5 more minutes to go, so I'm just going to take a couple of minutes to tell you a little bit what I'm all about and what I hope to see happen with Spokane County Republican Party. There's a very famous gentleman that once said, "A house divided cannot stand." It appears that we've been pretty divided for the last few years. My goal is to help facilitate that change. Somebody brought everybody thinks they're right. That's all great. But we can't fight amongst ourselves when we're trying to defeat the opposition. And I really think there's a common ground, Again, there's some divisiveness here that we're really trying to change. Let me tell you some of the approaches we've taken. Number one, somebody told me earlier the website, they must have looked at last year's, I guess, but the website had said that this started at 10 o'clock. We're throwing out the old website. We're in the process of building a brand new one. It's going to be very user-friendly. It's going to have links to anybody that wants to have their organization recognized through the GOP. It's going to be a lot more user-friendly. It's going to be more informative. We're going to do Facebook. We're going to do Twitter. We're going to try to get the information out on a much more timely basis instead of running behind. I, in the last month, have sat back and watched the work that the people within the party and the board have done. There's been literally hundreds of hours by a few people spent to facilitate this today. I'm very excited that all of you have come today. It's wonderful to see all these, kind of smiling faces. There you go. But there's approximately 350 people, is my understanding, that are going to be here. The disappointing thing to me is looking at it, there's about 700 people that should be here. Okay? And what that tells me is the fact that a lot of people, number one, didn't understand what a PCO is all about, and/or/a delegate. Thank you all for being here today, because it is critical. We've got a chance for a new beginning, but we got one chance at it. Restructuring this organization has been around a long time, but I worked a lot of time with startups. And startups are a very unique bird, and this is kind of what this is. So what I'm asking you folks to do, besides your commitment here, is we're going to start training PCOs into what exactly they're supposed to do. We're going to train district leaders in what they're supposed to do. The website and everybody will be provided with a job description, what their expectations is, because no fault of a lot of the individuals, they had no clue what the responsibility of a precinct committee officer was. For example, come to a meeting once a year and hold a caucus. Unfortunately, there was a plethora, if you will, of caucuses that were held where the PCO didn't even show up. Okay? This has got to change, folks. Otherwise, we're looking at another 8 years of an obozo type system. Okay? I don't want to see that. There's already been enough damage done. Excuse me. At the last convention, it went on to, how many people were at the last county convention down there? How many of you stayed till 1:30 in the morning? Wasn't that fun? It ain't gonna happen, folks. Okay? It ain't gonna happen. I want everybody's going to be heard. Everybody's going to get their time. But I want people to be concise. I want them to be brief. And I want themselves and everybody else here to be respectful. We can agree to disagree. But if we don't get on the same page, hey, let's all just go down and have a hamburger. Again, we don't have to agree about everything, but let's find something we can agree on. Now, I kind of jumped into this a couple of 3 years ago because I was often told that if you don't like what's going on, don't complain about it unless you're going to do something about it. And I'm going to do something about it. Besides the website, we're going to move the location. I personally don't like being in the dungeon looking up at the ground. You know, I want to build a much more professional image. My goal is to raise approximately $200,000 for the party. One of the problems that we've been here is you've got these phenomenal candidates, legislature, county, and to be honest with you folks, we haven't done anything for them. We haven't done anything. We haven't had any money to support them financially. We haven't been out getting our people routed to door knock, to do the things that we're supposed to be doing to help them serve us. Okay? That's got to change. I can do it only as much as one person. I will say that I have been to 2 to 3 events every day for the last 2 to 3 weeks. Okay? I'm tired. I'm not asking anybody to do that, but my goal is I'm trying to get around to every one of the organizations within this organization, the candidates, and really find out what they're all about. When it comes to doing the platform, I'm very impressed. This thing's been under work for a couple, 3 years, but each one of you can get direction from whoever you want in the sense your district leaders, from me. You're not going to get the guidance from me because I'm totally impartial, right? But vote your conscience. You don't have to vote something just because somebody says you do. This is where we got into the trouble before. This is kind of a dress rehearsal for 2016. We cannot lose in 2016. We cannot. We have a chance to take over the House in the state this year, is my understanding. And we've got some great candidates. So do your duty, vet these people, but get out and vote, and don't just go, it's not going to matter, because it does matter. Somebody had mentioned to me the other day that there was a race out here west that was decided by 2 votes. Okay? I was listening to a speaker last night at a dinner. His name escapes me, as most all the other things do. But he's a lawyer working for a foundation that has been working on land issues and saved several land grabs by the government, by the BLM. EPA is one of our biggest enemies. You all heard what happened down in Nevada. You know, that's just a taste. If we don't get our act together and get these people replaced, that's a taste of what's coming down the road. Okay? So I'm not much of a speech maker. I'm just telling you that's where I'm coming from. And I'm willing to work hard. And if you guys don't like me, you can throw me out in December. You know, I'm not going to break my heart. But I'm willing to stick around and work hard if you guys are willing to help me out. How are we doing on those today? Okay, you're almost off the hook. We've got about 2 more minutes, which is the time for State Senator Baumgartner to give you his vision.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks to our organizing committee, thanks to our chair, thanks to everybody for being here and caring so much about our state, our community, and our country, and coming out on Saturday. You know, when I look out at this crowd, you know, I see a lot of insurgent freedom fighters, and I see victory this November, and I see a lot of excitement. And give yourself a hand. I wasn't taking the applause one per se, but I hope there's a lot of excitement. There's a lot of excitement for us for a number of reasons. You know, I got 3 kids under 3 now. My wonderful wife Eleanor is on the way, and we're making this a family activity today because our little boy Conrad threw a toy train through our screen door yesterday, and so we're going to Home Depot after this and see if Dad can figure out how to fix that. And I need you, of course, to continue to help me to fix our state. Now, how many people in here think Jay Inslee has been a great governor? Okay, not a lot of hands going up. Well, let me tell you, folks, it could be way, way worse. Because the difference between Governor Inslee being a terrible governor and an absolutely horrible governor is right now your Senate Republicans holding the majority in Olympia.
That's right.
And that is really what it's taking. You know, we're at 26 right now. We just lost one of the Democrats, has decided to step down and come over and join our majority coalition caucus. Ronnie Tom isn't going to run again. It will be tough for us to hold that seat for the MCC, so you can kind of think of us at 25 right now, and that's what it takes to stay in the majority. And I cannot tell you the list of big government, extreme liberal stuff that Inslee wants to do. So much so that there's an extreme liberal hedge fund billionaire from San Francisco who has already committed to several $1 million directly himself to try and just to knock out Senate Republicans here. So it is going to be high stakes. My race will be one of the 4 most targeted races in the country, and of course I got to raise about $500,000. But so any of you want to help with that can do that. But what I really need from you is your hard work. And so please, those of you in the 6th district, please, you got a doorbell with me when you're coming through your precinct. My community, or my campaign manager is here. I need you to put up my signs. I need you to help hold a coffee. It doesn't have to be for money, just to meet and greet your friends, because really this is going to be, you know, a very, very hard-fought race. And you know, back in 2010, when I beat Chris Morrow and nobody said we could do it, and what became the most expensive race in state history, the reason we won was because a lot of the people in this room, and I need you to help me do that again. So if you get a chance, do your work today. I'm going to be outside a little bit. Come by and visit Conrad, Roman, and Eleanor's going to be here with Victoria in just a little bit. If you don't get that chance, come and see me when I'm doorbelling in your neighborhood. And if you're not from the 6, come on out to the 6 and help us out. And then finally, look around this room. There are so many great Republican candidates willing to step up for offices at all levels. Please help them. Please help them. They're towing the line for us. We've got to help them together. And so there's nothing better to do between now and then, doorbell, hold community coffee, and look at this group of insurgent freedom fighters we got here. And I think we're going to do real well in 2014. So I won't take any more of your time, but it's just really a pleasure to be your state senator. And thank you so much for coming out and working for not just our Republican Party, but really for the future of our country. It isn't just my little Conrad and my Roma, but it's your kids and grandkids too. Take care and God bless.
Well, they fibbed to me. They got just a minute or so left. So I get to fill the dead air. Actually, I'm really kind of kicking myself because I saw this little article that was making fun of Is it okay if I call him a bozo? I've been calling him a bozo for 4 years. Well, it was kind of interesting. It was a little play on the healthcare, and it's about 7 lines, but the funny part of it was, paraphrasing, was we had the uninsured the insured to reinsure the uninsured, to get the insured insured, so the uninsured would get free healthcare. Is that apropos or what? Anyway. Well, anyway, like I said, there's a lot to be done. I'm not going to bore you just kind of rambling on, but if anybody has something simple, specific question that you want to ask. Oh, and again, I want to fall on my sword because, like I said, it rolls uphill in reference to today. It was a little bit disorganized. I'll take credit for that, but we're here, we're happy. Some people did not get name tags. Some people did not get the lunch ticket. There's going to be food there, so on your honor system, go ahead and eat. But you're going to have to stand behind me because I'm going to run first. I didn't get practice. All right? As soon as we get the credentialing, which obviously in most of these situations takes the longest period of time, we'll get into election of, we'll okay the credentialing report so we know how many people are voting, as well as the alternates. And then we'll get into selecting the permanent chair for the convention. Anybody want to do it? I didn't think so. The secretary and the parliamentarian will move right along to the rules approval. And like I said, the key is going to be is short, sweet, and say what you think, but let's be respectful. Okay? Go Seahawks. I've been waiting since 1976 for those guys to finally show up. But they did, now I'm happy. Any simple questions that doesn't really get involved before we lock in? Sir? Oh, I didn't see you standing there. Mike Pat.
Well, these bright lights or something else, but it's great to be here. I'm not up for election this year, so I'm spending a lot of time trying to help others, mainly, as Senator Baumgartner said, to keep our majority in the Senate. And we feel we have a good opportunity to do that. But to do that, we need to elect and re-elect people like Michael Baumgartner. But he mentioned some of the things that stopped. I mean, we would have had mandatory sick leave for every business in the state if it hadn't been for the Majority Coalition Caucus. We would have had a mandate for insurance coverage. Anybody that had maternity care would have had to have insurance that covered abortions. Was the abortion insurance mandate. That's been defeated 3 years in a row because of activities of people in the state Senate. So, and you would have had probably $1 billion of new taxes if the House Democrats had gotten their way. So it's absolutely crucial to see Michael get reelected, to also see some of the other key races. Senator Oban has a key race in the 28th district. We have a wonderful new candidate who was a former Democrat legislator running in the 30th, which is Federal Way, Mark Malosha. He's a Republican, he's running. The incumbent Democrat decided not to run. So we feel we've got an excellent chance for a pickup there. And then also in the 44th district, which is Mill Creek, Snohomish, that area, we have a guy named Jim Kellett running against Steve Hobbs. And to give you an example of what Hobbs did, we had a vote on the Senate floor to try to pass a constitutional amendment for a 2/3 vote to require to raise taxes. It's been passed by the people 4 or 5 different times by overwhelming margins, but the state Supreme Court, in their infinite wisdom, quotes, ruled it unconstitutional in a divided decision. So we had a constitutional amendment, and Mr. Hobbs' district was 65% or more for the amendment, but where was he when we voted on it? Hiding in his office. We didn't want to take the vote. So, I mean, that's some of the things we're up against. We wouldn't be where we are if it wasn't for support of individuals like you. I strongly urge you to get behind the Republican candidates of your choice, work for them, and then let's unite and go on to a great victory in 2014. Thanks very much.
Does anybody here did not get a copy, or did they need a copy of the rules of platform? Anybody need a copy? Okay. We'll get some from out, or they're right out here in the foyer, so we'll get you a copy then. I'm not a radio announcer, nor am I a television personality. Skip Snyder?
He's not here. He's not here. No.
That would be negative. And I'm just hoping they take me off the hot seat here pretty quick. Anybody else? Any other candidates? Anybody with any good jokes? Clean good jokes. We should get going here in just a second. And again, I apologize. One thing I do want to ask anybody to do, if you come up to address the audience, please stand at the mic. This one, in and out. Get close, speak slowly, and please give your precinct number. Okay? Sir.
Mr. Chairman Don Morgan, 4027. Very quickly, what I'd like to ask the chairman to do, and I agree with everything you've said. I think if we don't come together, we have to start practicing saying President Clinton. And I don't want to do that.
I call her Hillary.
What I'd like to suggest strongly is that our organization at the county level and at the precinct level encourage high school and junior high school Republican clubs. We need to get our young people involved.
Thank you. We're right on the cusp of having it done. But we do have one of the representatives who wants to speak to fill this dead air. Appreciate your patience.
I'll be brief. I'm Shelley Short. I'm the state representative for the 7th District. You know, just so appreciate being here with all of you today, and just know that in the 6 years I've been elected and taken on the environmental issues and being ranking on that environment committee has really given, I think, Eastern Washington a voice on really putting some sound science and real practical principles to work instead of, you know, the agency overzealousness that we see right now. You know, we're having to do those things a little bit at a time. That's not how I'd like to do it, frankly. But we have had support. And what I want at the end of the day is to get rid of the zealots who, you know, just demonize us as private property owners and demonize the things that we want to do because it's our land to do with what we know how to do. And I think the key here is balance. But I will tell you that we're having really fun, a lot of fun, and I wanted to just share a story, a couple stories. You know, for those of you who know, I sat on a climate change task force with Governor Inslee for 8 months, and like I'm a Catholic, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I just did penance for 8 months. I am telling you, he is a piece of work, and on climate change, he's a true believer. And what he spent his 8 months trying to do is to put Senator Erickson and I in a corner. And he tried, you know, again, as the liberals do, they like to paint us as anti-environment and all of these kinds of things, raping and pillaging the land, and et cetera, et cetera. And so we tried to work with him, but we never knew really what we were up against because he always changed the agenda. He always just, we just really had to go in and be on our toes and represent, you know, hardworking families. You know, people that are struggling and trying to make their way in this state with their jobs, with their families. But it really came to a head in December, and I don't know how many of you have seen it, but the governor and I on camera really got into a pretty heated debate, and it was time. He was trying to just so paint us and vilify us as Republicans and conservatives. And so I just felt, you know, he was just going out of control. You know, the person that was kind of supposed to run the meeting, the moderator, wasn't doing his job, and he was just letting the governor go on. And I thought, how disrespectful. And so I just thought, I was sitting to his right, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to start interrupting him because no one else is. And what it really came down to, and he and I really did get into it, was really the values. You know, obviously, Governor, you don't care about the working men and women and families in this state, but I do, and the Republicans do. And the economy is just as important as the environment. I think those things can go hand in hand, but he was so disrespectful. And I thought if I didn't stand up, if I didn't, you know, regardless of what, you know, the media said and all of those kinds of things, it was really important to do that because nobody else was. Everybody else was staying silent. And I think if we're silent, then that just shows that we agree. And I disagree. And he doesn't like me much at all. In fact, what it came down to is I had my 2 peer review bills that were kind of additions to what I did last year. He made me wait 3.5 hours, brought in the Attorney General's staff to make sure that my bills did not have unintended consequences. And I think that was really his way of saying, well, you might be an elected representative and you might have had these bills passed unanimously, but I'm still a governor and I'm going to give you a little bit of a hard time. So I thought, well, if you didn't cite him governor, I could really talk about that in district. So to me, we were winning either way. But really, I just want you to know that I am fighting for you, our caucus is fighting for you, and the values that we hold dear. And I am honored to be a representative for the 7th District. I'm honored to have, you know, a bigger chunk of Spokane County that I'm getting familiar with and enjoying getting to know. But thank you so much for all you do for us. And just let us continue to work for you. Let's stay in partnership. Thank you so much. Thank you for what you do.
We're almost there. We need to speed this up. I'm kind of a let's keep it moving person. I need the credentialing committee to meet for just a minute or two out there in the foyer. But I'd like to say also is that May 12th to the 16th is registration day for people that want to become a precinct committee officer. It's free. You can do it online. And I'd really like to see some people come in that's going to do their job. The job is interacting with your constituents, your neighbors. All right? And I really want to see people like yourselves dedicated. So if you think about it, take a look at your precinct, get a hold of me, get a hold of one of the district leaders, and we could definitely use the help. We're going to take about 5 minutes to get this resolved, and then we're going to, if you bring the lights up a little bit more, I'd like the people that haven't had a chance to just take a look at the platform, excuse me, and the rules. Then we'll get into the approval of that. Okay, thank you. This is Mike Fadden, City Councilman. He wants to take a minute to speak on the vote. Sorry, Mike Fadden. They actually call me not Dave, they call me Stupid Dave.
Don't worry about it, Mr. Chair. I've been called worse. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Spokane City Councilman Mike Fagan, radio personality, and more importantly, I'm up here representing Voters Want More Choices. I happen to be a co-director, co-founder, along with Tim Hyman and my father, Jack Fagan. Since Initiative 699, according to the Office of Financial Management, State of Washington, we have saved taxpayers in Washington State over $26 billion. This year's effort, ladies and gentlemen, simultaneously as the legislature is running bills through the Senate and the House in order to get us our 2/3 constitutional amendment opportunity. Initiative 1325 this year is trying to do the same thing. The way Initiative 1325 works, basically we are tying our 2/3 constitutional amendment opportunity for a vote to the state sales tax. Now the state collects 6.5% of our sales tax, and the way 1325 works is it gives the legislature an opportunity to do one of two things. One, you can put the 2/3 constitutional amendment on the ballot so that the people can vote on it, or we're going to be reducing the state sales tax by 1%. That equates to more than 10% in a tax decrease for the people here in the state. I think that because the Democrats, who have maintained control in this state for going on, what, 30, 32 years now, this is going to definitely grab their attention. So please, by all means, ladies and gentlemen, be a supporter of Initiative 1325. Seek out that initiative if you haven't already signed it. If you are having problems finding that initiative, get in contact with myself or send us an email through www.voterswantmorechoices.com. Thank you and God bless.
If you would go ahead and take a look at that, I'm going to go stir the pot a little bit. Be right back.